Hey everybody, this is Rob and Paula Smith at the Body Project.
Hello.
And today we want to talk about scars. Scars, as we both know, we've seen some very profound changes with many of our clients' health. And I had a personal experience,
Just the other day.
Yeah, just a couple of days ago. And it was so amazing. And actually, I was between clients. Well, fortunately, we were both between clients. And I told Paul, I said, I don't know what's going on, but I have no energy. I was just absolutely like my battery was completely depleted. And so she's like, well, let me test you quick. It's great to have a wife who can test you whenever you need testing. So anyway, laid me down on the table, and the first thing I did is check my chakras, and none of my chakras were open. So she said, well, we got to test your energy field. And I'm like, I don't even feel like I can get off the table. I was so tired. And anyway, I got up, she tested me, and I came up with my belly button scar. And so my belly button scar was creating neurological interference, and it was really shutting down my nervous system. And so what do we test? I tested for wheat germ. I rubbed, and why don't you talk about some of the different things that we can actually put on the scar. But I actually, just to finish the story, I actually used wheat germ oil, rubbed it on my belly button. I don't think it was a minute, was it? It was like a minute.
Probably, maybe a minute.
It was dramatic. I was like, I can't believe how much better I feel. And so sometimes we're dealing with all these hidden interference fields that our body is experiencing, and we don't know what's going on. So what do people do when they have low energy? They either, take some sort of caffeinated beverage or something to stimulate their nervous system. And what happens is people just get into bad habits. So what's critical is you first establish what's stressing out your nervous system, and that's, of course, what Paula does on a regular basis, and she finds dozens and dozens of people with these hidden challenges like scars. But why don't you talk about some of the things we do to actually treat scars?
Well, scars are actually the number one thing that I always check with everybody. So no matter who I'm working with, it's the number one thing I'm always checking, because it's just an interesting thing, because I know people probably are like, oh, who cares about a scar? But the scar actually acts as a capacitor. So if you have like a C-section scar, so you've been cut through here, that nerve flow is inhibited. So it's almost like it's stuck there. And then that energy right in that area of where that scar is at can absorb stress from inflammation. Any type of inflammation can absorb into that scar. So whether it's foods or whether it's chemicals, heavy metals, emotional stress, immune challenges, they all kind of attract right to that scar, start flaring it up, and it starts dispersing energy erratically within the body. And your body does not like that. So it's a really important thing. We call them active scars. So it's a really important thing that we actually inactivate them. We want them to be like a dormant scar. So now we get adequate nerve flow back and forth through that area, which can be hugely, quickly dramatic for a lot of people. So if someone has been everywhere and nothing is fixing them, quote unquote, that's what people say, nobody can fix me, but their body fixes itself. But you can always, it's important that you know that scars are probably the number one thing that are coming up for that person that you have to address. And when I am working with the scar, on my end of it, what I'm doing is a lot of times I'm using 3 different things. So I use a cold pressed sesame seed oil that's in a pill form. It's not the cooking one. And I cut them open and rub it into the scar. And it also, from there, then I use a laser to seal that in. So whether it is the sesame seed or wheat germ oil, those seem to be the 2 that work the best. Same thing with pure, highly purified wheat germ oil. You cut it open or you poke it and then you rub it over the scar, and we seal it in with a laser if the body asks for it. So there's 2 different types of scars or lasers that I use. The number one, this one is for scars, so we call it the red laser. This laser actually helps to inactivate the scar, kind of decrease the erratic energy that's going out, and kind of pulls all the energy back to that so that we get good flow happening there. Then the blue scar, or the blue laser, is for anyone that might have a stressor in the scar. So whether that is an immune challenge that's been attracted to that area, whatever it is, heavy metal, chemical. So with this laser, we go across, so I would just take it on, take it about an inch above. So if it's a small scar, we hold it here, such as a belly button scar. I would just hold it over the belly button. That is a one scar that every single person has, no matter who they are, is they have the belly button scar that can come up. So I've seen people with low back pain, prostate issues, uterine issues, bladder issues, digestive issues, especially with women. Actually, right in the small intestine seems to be the big one for holding on to immune challenges. And so being able to use this laser with whatever oil they need, we use that to inactivate the scar. The second part of that is that's the external factor. There's also an internal factor of scars. So there's scar tissues internally within the body. So your body can create scar tissue internally from, let's say that you have a chronic immune challenge in your lung, just as an example. So somebody that might have had asthma for a long time, there's an immune challenge in the lung, and the body is going to create a scar tissue over that to protect that lung. So what we have to do is we have to take the oil internally to start deactivating the scars within that lung, so that they can get adequate flow back again. So those are the main things that I use. I also use D3K2, which is a lipo vitamin D, vitamin K spray that I can spray on there as well if they test for that. So that's just another topical one, or internal as well. Those are my three big ones, but it can be a dramatic health improvement for most people that have an issue with scars.
Yeah, if we think about, like Paula was talking about, flow, that's the one thing, whether you're talking about conventional medicine or you're talking about the alternative healing space, the one thing that'll never be refuted is if there's a blockage of any kind, bad things happen. So in conventional medicine, we talk about blood flow, nerve flow, lymph flow. Eastern philosophies, we'll talk about life force, our chi, our prana. But in the end, it's all about energy, right? And so remember, we always have to reestablish flow. And when we have a blockage of any kind, bad things are going to happen. So here's one of the things that, obviously Paula talked about some of the tools she uses. One of the challenges, sometimes people will get general information, like for instance from a friend or family member, I used X for this particular symptom, and they're like, oh, I'm going to use X for symptom Y, right?
And it didn't work for me.
And it didn't work for me.
Because everyone's different.
Yeah, we have biochemical individuality.
Yeah.
The variables, the stressors we're dealing with on a regular basis are different. And so our stress loads, even though Paul and I live under the same roof, work in the same building, our sensitivities to various stressors are different. And so a stressor may really stress out her nervous system and affect her negatively, and I can have the exact same stressor and it doesn't bother me. So this is why it's so essential for someone to get tested, so Paul can actually go through and test their energy field and see what kind of sensitivities or stressors they have. From an orthopedic standpoint, when I'm dealing with people with neck problems, shoulder problems, back problems, knee problems, what I'm looking for with scar tissue is I'll use a tool like a Graston tool. And so what I'll do is I'll try and stimulate blood flow to the area to break up any type of scar tissue. And what that does is it just reestablishes the flow.
Also keloid scars.
Yes.
External keloid scars, that works really well with.
And what that is it's a really thick fibrotic scar that really is raised and very, very problematic in healing. In fact, one of my challenges, when Paul and I first met, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, right? Paul will tell you that I had difficulty walking. And so I'd wake up in the morning and limp my way down the hall and really, really struggled with inflammation. I couldn't run, like I said, barely could walk. And some days were worse than others. And my turning point was really breaking up all my scar tissue, but nobody had addressed that. I'd went through multiple cortisone shots, and I did non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. I had 2 different surgeries, and nothing seemed to work. And that's really when I started to get into this alternative healing model. and realize that if you've got a stressor, you have to remove that stressor or your body cannot heal. Yeah. And just like Paula said, if we have a scar, what's going to happen is we are not going to have the capacity to heal until we deactivate that scar. So, any other things you want to add in terms of dealing with scars?
I think the biggest thing with there's many different ways to address the scars. So whether it's the cold laser, whether it's the oil, whether it's the Graston tools, whether it's microcurrent, we offer all of those under one roof. So the one thing is that no matter what someone needs for their scars, that we are able to address it. And I think that's a huge gift. We have pretty much every tool you could have to be able to address these scars. That's the big three. So you have scar tissue buildup that causes a stress you have to deactivate. You have hydration, and you have your autonomic nervous system. If you have those three things under control, the body is going to heal, period. So it is huge, and I think people just don't really, nobody really realizes how important that is. So I'm glad that we're able to do this video and explain to people that how important it is.
Yeah, and just to expand on the, Paula talked about the autonomic nervous system. So we have two branches. We have our parasympathetic, which is rest and digest, and we have our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight. And 80% of the sympathetic fibers are on the skin surface. So if you have a scar on the skin surface, then what happens is you get locked into that sympathetic tone, and your body cannot heal in a sympathetic tone. So we have to, very, very important that we deactivate that scar. But with all these tools available, and even if someone had the tools available, you still have to know what tool you're testing for. Because as powerful as these tools are individually, sometimes, for instance, Paula could have tested me for 4 things and I didn't test for any of those 4. And then it's like, oh, you're testing for, the sesame oil, but not the wheat germ oil. So that's why if you have access to someone who can test you, make sure, because I think the real key here, first and foremost, is you have to get tested, because you have to identify what is stressing out your nervous system. Then and only then can you get an effective treatment protocol.
Absolutely.
So,
otherwise you spin your wheels.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. And if you've got a friend or maybe a family member that's battling with this, or if you yourself are just not able to heal, make sure you find a qualified practitioner. If you're in our area, we'd love to see you. Paula would love to test you. And then, of course, her staff. We've got a great staff here. So if you have someone you might be able to share this information to, please go ahead and share the video. But until we see you later, go ahead and make it a great day. You certainly deserve it, and we'll see you later.
Bye.